You sit down to work, and 2 hours later you look up and you just finished a task that used to eat 2 full days. No white-knuckling it, no just one more scroll detour. And here's the annoying part. You didn't do it with more willpower. You did it with less. Somewhere along the way, we all absorbed this same idea. If you're not getting things done, you need more discipline. Grit harder, want it more. So people say, just be more disciplined, like discipline is a muscle you forgot to use. Here's the uncomfortable research behind that advice. It's mostly wrong. For years, psychologists believed willpower worked like a fuel tank. Use it on one task, and you'd have less left for the next. It's called ego depletion, and it was one of the most cited findings in psychology. Then, in 2016, a massive multi-lab replication, over 20 labs, hundreds of participants, the exact original methods, tried to reproduce it. The effect all but disappeared. Willpower isn't a tank you drain, which means the plan was never build a bigger tank. It's stop needing one. Technique 1. Design your environment instead of policing yourself. Researchers studying habits found people eat differently tasting popcorn at the exact same rate in a movie theater. Not because they're hungry, but because the environment itself triggers the behavior automatically. No decision involved. Willpower loses to friction almost every time. Move the thing you don't want to do out of easy reach, and put the thing you do want to do one click closer. You're not disciplining yourself into focus. You're removing the 50 tiny decisions that were quietly draining you before you even started. Technique 2. Use implementation intentions, not vague goals. Psychologist Peter Gollwitzer ran study after study comparing people who set a goal like, "I'll work out more," against people who set a specific if-then plan. If it's 7 a.m. on Tuesday, then I put on my shoes and walk for 10 minutes. Across dozens of studies, the if-then group followed through dramatically more often, sometimes more than double. Your brain doesn't need more motivation. It needs the decision made in advance, so there's nothing left to decide in the moment your resolve is weakest. Technique 3. Work in your brain's natural rhythm, not against it. Sleep researcher Nathaniel Kleitman identified what's called the basic rest activity cycle. Roughly 90-minute waves of higher and lower alertness that run all day, not just at night. Fighting through the low points with caffeine and stubbornness is expensive. Working with them isn't. Pick one task, protect a focused block of somewhere around 90 minutes, then actually stop. Walk, hydrate, let the next wave build, instead of grinding flat out until you crash. Technique 4. Build a consistent cue, not a mood. Habit researchers have found that behaviors become automatic fastest when they're tied to a stable, repeated context. The same chair, the same time, the same small ritual before you start. Your brain quietly links that specific cue to focus starts now, the same way a specific smell or song can pull up a memory instantly. Randomize where and how you work, and you're stuck relying on motivation every single time. Keep the cue consistent, and eventually the cue does the work motivation used to do. Technique 5. Make progress visible. Reviews of behavior change research keep landing on the same finding. Self-monitoring, actually tracking what you did, is one of the most reliable ways to keep a new habit alive, often outperforming reminders, rewards, or willpower-based advice entirely. It's not about turning your life into a game for fun. It's that an invisible habit is incredibly easy to quietly let slide, and a visible one is much harder to abandon without noticing. Now, here's a myth that's still floating around productivity culture: multitasking. The idea that you can run 2 demanding things at once and get both done well. Researchers at Stanford compared people who considered themselves heavy multitaskers against light multitaskers on tests of attention and task switching. The heavy multitaskers performed worse. Not slightly worse, meaningfully worse, at filtering distractions and switching tasks cleanly, the exact skills they assumed multitasking was building. What feels like efficiency is often just switching costs you're not tracking. One task protected beats two tasks split. So here's what actually holds up. Your environment is doing more of the work than your motivation ever did. A specific if-then plan beats a vague goal. Your focus runs in waves, so work with the 90 minutes instead of fighting them. A consistent cue builds automaticity that willpower can't. Visible progress keeps a habit alive, and multitasking was never actually saving you time. None of this required you to become a different person. You were never lazy. You were running systems that were never built for how attention actually works. Which one's been quietly working against you? No environment design, no if-then plan, ignoring your own rhythm, or splitting focus across 3 tabs at once? Tell me in the comments. And if this changed how you're building tomorrow, follow Own the Room for more of this.